You hiring the right people can double your business in the next 30, 60, 90, or a year's length time simply by finding the right people who are going to help you grow, scale, and hit your mark. My name is Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 3.5 years, we've helped 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month. And on this channel, I talk about methods, behaviors, strategies, and tactics of those individuals, what they've done, and how you can go out and implement them too if you are a life insurance agent or just in general in the insurance space. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to hop right into the video. So today, all right, I want to talk about something briefly, which is hiring the right people can double your business. And what I've learned from doing $400,000 with, which was our best month last month in our business. And this applies not only to this, but also to my clients. So I'm going to use myself and I'm going to use my client to really explain this. Okay. So let me give you the journey and backstory. All right. So essentially, here's kind of what happened. So last September or October, I got a text message from a client that I'd worked with for a decent amount of time, but it was just buying individual leads. And then he kind of went MIA, which sometimes happens. You'll have a client that works for 2-3 months. They'll go try somebody else out. And he hit me up and he was like, "Hey man, I want to hop on a call." So I'm a little like, okay, what's going on? We get on the call, and on the call, the gentleman's like, "Hey man, you mentioned something to me last January." So take us back. It's currently March of 2026. This was this is September of 2025. He brings up a reference point from January of 2025. And he's like, "Hey, you told me at the beginning of 2025 that you had this program called Apex where you could come in, grow, scale your business, and you'd work with agencies and you charge this much and blah, blah, blah." And that was great. And I loved it, but I didn't have the money for it. But now I do. My business is growing. We're at like 350, getting close to 400K. And we want to invest with you because, I've heard you're really good. I know I've worked with you myself. I've had success, but I want to make sure that my people can do the same thing. Can you explain to me how it works? Which he was basically like, "I'm already ready to go." So we sit down for like 30, 45 minutes, explain what it is. He pays. I'm like, okay. And this is where the revelation started happening. And this is what I noticed. So when he paid, right after he paid, I think he lost like a leg in his business, right? And that leg had done a pretty significant amount of production. So he went from doing, I think it was like 300 or 400K down to like 250 or whatever the next month after already starting to work with me. But also in that process, we were working on his leads, we were building out his systems. And then the following month he went from 250, 300-ish to like 350. And then he went from 350 to I think 400, and then 400 to 450, I think it was. And then last month he did 650, right? And I'm only giving estimates because I don't know the exact numbers to a T, and I'm not going to lie to you because I don't know exact numbers. Work with a lot of people, but I do know that he's scaling tremendously. I do also know that they did do 650 last month, and I know for a fact when they started, they were not near there. And I also know that because we're just seeing a lot of more people hitting us up because he probably posts the most out of a lot of the people we work with. And the reason I bring this up is because one of the key factors was him losing that leg. Now, for most people, they feel like it's a loss, right? But what I noticed is that finding the right people a lot of times has to come through finding the wrong people first, right? So him having those people, having to let them go, losing a piece, and then catching momentum and growing, now having the systems backed by it. It's not just the people, right? You got the people in the systems, the people in the process, the people in the product, has now allowed him to continue to grow. Now, piggyback off myself, because that's him doing 600. I'm going to talk about myself. Another example that's for an agency, but if somebody's watching and they're kind of wondering how this relates to me and where this came from. It's a conversation with my little brother last night. I was talking to him and I was like, "Hey man, look, one of the things I kind of told him the journey. And when you're grinding, for those that are entrepreneurs, you already know this, like there are seasons where you don't talk to people as much. So I talked to my little brother here and there, but we haven't like had a long conversation. We talked for about an hour and a half last night, or hour 10, I'm sorry. And in that process, I was like, you know what? I was telling him, I'm like, "Hey man, how much do you think we did last month?" And he was like, "I don't know, like 150,000. And it reminded me of how much like I haven't been updating, but I also have just been in the trenches, kind of doing what we need to do. And I told him to keep guessing, and he went down. And I was like, "Nah, man, we did $430,000. And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro." And he's like, "Dude, that's crazy." And the reason why he said that was because he used to work with me. And when he worked with me was when I lost it all. So for those that don't know my story, we built our business from in the first 10 months, we made $1 million as a lead company with no ads, just all warm market referrals, nothing. I got picked up on in the league on the 10th month. It was like October 18th, I think, or October 17th. They called me, land assigned me to the practice squad. I go out there. We had just hit our best month. The next month we go down. I think we did like 130 in September, or I'm sorry, October of that year. And then the next month we went down to 100 and then 90 and then 80 and then down to like 60 and then back like 60, 60, 60, 70, 80, 80, 110, 100, and then we started going back down to the point where we got down to basically not making anything and going negative. And a year later, so that was 2023. Okay. In 2024, in November 1st, I'll never forget it. I actually owed $100,000, 110 to be exact, on my business credit card. I had, probably $15,000, $20,000 personally saved up. I had to pay for myself, my wife, who's now a doctor, but was in medical school. I'm still trying to get to the NFL, so I'm paying for training, coaches. I'm basically bleeding and hit rock bottom. And in that process, why I'm bringing that up is because my brother was working for me when that happened, because I tried to just hire everybody, man. I was like trying to buy softwares, hire people that I didn't vet, wasn't interviewing them. So somebody told me, hey, man, just hire this person, bring them in, they'll do your sales management. Horrible. Bringing in sales reps, like high ticket sales closers, not working. Funny enough, I had a guy I got on the phone with who was like, I talked to you, somebody on your team a year or 2 years ago, and they were super unqualified and they just kind of turned me away from the business. And then I heard more things about how you kind of changed some things around. And it was funny because I'm like, yo, that's just kind of hilarious. But anyways, so point I was getting at is that essentially I had hired my little brother to work for me, and he was an appointment setter, and he was booking appointments, whatever. But in that process, what I noticed was that it scarred me, because that's when I was paying them, not paying myself. I was doing everything to like feel like I was doing a business the way people had. Yeah, you got these closers and high ticket setters and all that. You're selling for 5 to 10K packages, stuff that like doesn't fit what I originally set out to do in my original business. So when I shut everything down and I was $110,000 in debt, I went back and I got a video I sent to my mentor, and my little brother, my wife was away at the time. And my little brother, me and him were sitting in the living room of my apartment. And I was like, yeah, bro, this is where we are. And he was like, damn. And I was like, yeah, man, I have a few options. I'm going to start selling something low ticket, because I've been trying to do high tech. It's not working. And I said, I'll probably just go back to what I was doing, which is just like selling leads. I've been getting up later than I normally do. I need to get up earlier. I need to train a little hard. I was like, maybe I got a little soft. I don't know. And I was very nervous. When I did that, I went basically from 2024 to 2025, got out of the debt situation in March of 2025. And then 2025 comes in September, and or October, and I go to a mentorship, and I pay $100,000 to get mentored. And it was ironic because almost a year later, I had $100,000 to put into it. And during that mentorship, one of the first things he said was like, do you have a sales team? I was like, nah, it's just me. I was like, all right, well, I'm doing like $110,000 a month kind of by myself. I didn't really need anybody, to be honest with you. But I was like, I want to grow. So it's like, you're going to have to hire some salespeople. And during that process, I met my two now strategic advisors that I have, which, hopefully we continue to grow. But what happened was, the gentleman that I hired, his name is Santi. Right. And a quick little story of how I got here. And the reason why I'm telling you all this, let me just piggyback. I probably should have started with this. I appreciate those who are watching. Once again, I use this as like my mental map that I kind of like just drop and just talk. It's kind of like my own little podcast. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because we had, the month before, we did $200,000. We did $220,000. We almost doubled in 1 month. And I'm going to kind of explain why here in a second. But it ties back to the story because it's so important, because it's about the people. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do anything without my team, any of my team, not the back end team, not the marketing team, not the sales team, not anybody. I am a team person. I come from a team sport. I'm used to playing football. So that is all team related. So what I realized really simply was how important a team was. But let me get back to the story, because it's very important on how you choose, because the theme I'm getting at here, which relates to the gentleman that I'm working with, is that you got to go through the wrong people to find the right people, and also identify what the wrong people are, right? It's not to say that you always have to pick those, but at some point you have to learn that lesson. And typically we learn lessons through failures rather than through successes. That's just typically how it works. So what happened was, I had that stuff happen back in 2024, went to ground zero. So when I thought about this time, I was like, I'm going to be extremely deliberate in who I go grab. And I didn't even have it in my mind. So fast forward, it's December. I had these leads coming in, so for people that have ever seen our ads, it's just, hey, blah, 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 lead request, boom. So I call him, I got any lead, talk to him, end up closing him. The moment after the transaction goes through, and I'm like, hey man, like this how, pre-onboarding stuff, everybody should know how that works in business. He's like, hey man, are you hiring? And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good, man. Immediate reaction, so fear kicked in. Nah, man, I'm good. Because I had been scarred from before about hiring people that I didn't know, that whatever. He was like, man, I really think I could help you out, man. I want to work with a lead company. Like, I really, think I can help you. And I'm like, okay. Seems a little sketchy because I don't know you, and like, why are you just trying to work for me? Like, truthfully, my initial hesitant, and I don't know if I ever told him this, but my initial hesitant was the fact that like you are hitting me up from an ad and asking to work for me immediately. It's almost like, are you an informant? Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, cool, bro. Well, here, I'll send you the leads. You work them. I was like, but let's book a call for tomorrow or whatever it was, 2 days later. Maybe it was like a Monday or Tuesday. I know we met on Thursday because I know I called him on a Friday. So Thursday comes. It was either Thursday or Saturday or one of those times. I forget. But anyways, I give him a call. I'm like, hey, man, look. Well, I'm sorry. We hop on Zoom. Let me take a step back. I'm sorry. So we met, closed him. He said he wanted to talk. I was like, well, let's book a follow up. We'll touch base. So we book a follow up. I think he bought more leads too in the follow up, if I'm not mistaken. And then we go on Zoom. And I'm basically like, hey, man, tell me about yourself. Let's get to know each other. Like, you said you want to work with me, but like, it's kind of weird. So you got to give me some context on like who you are, where you're coming from. So he gives me a little bit of his story. We go and we have a great conversation, 20, 30 minutes. I was like, hey, man, like, I definitely think I can consider you, but I don't know. Like, I'm not even at the point where I have the capacity to start bringing people in because I'm still in the early process, not necessarily of the business, but of running ads to get leads. So I don't even really know if I have a job for you. I also don't know what I'm going to pay you and how things are going to work. Right. So basically what happened was, I don't know if it was the next day or the day later, but I always just say the next day because it was soon after. I had never gotten a Spanish lead through this funnel. Now, it's not to say I've never gotten, by Spanish lead, I mean a client that wants Spanish leads. Now, I've gotten clients who can speak Spanish who request Spanish leads, but I haven't got an actual Spanish lead up until that point. And if I did, I don't think they ever picked up. So I call one of these leads, and I'm not even going to try to say my Spanish because it's not great, unfortunately. And I'm like, hey man, like, do you speak English? I said that in Spanish though. He was like, no. So boom, Holy Spirit was like, call Santi. Boom, immediately call. Yo, what's up, bro? What's up, man? It's super loud. I'm like, yo, where you at? Like, I'm at this hockey game or something. It was hockey, whatever event with this girl. But I told her I had to take this. I'm like, okay, cool, man. I'm like, hey, look, bro, I have a client on the other end. This is how many leads they want. This is how much it costs. I said, dude, I'm just gonna transfer you over because I don't speak Spanish, brother. Like, if you can do this, do your thing, bro. I'll pay you. He's like, all right, bet, let's do it. Transfer call. Call comes over. Boom. Close. Yo, send him the link, Trey. Send him the link. He pays. He's like, all right, bro, I gotta go back to the thing. I'll talk to you soon. We hang up. I'm sitting in the same seat. I look at my phone. I'm like, yo, what in the world? I'm like, I think I just hired him. I'm like, I gotta pay him. So at first, I was like, hey man, I'll just give you a lead credit, basically I think I just gave him a lead credit or something. I don't know what I did. No. I didn't give him a lead credit. I something. I told him something. I forget what happened. But no. Yes, the next day, I'm sorry, I hit him up and I was like, hey man, like, I guess we can kind of get this ball rolling. And basically what happened was from that point forward, I was like, I'll bring you in. Now that's one person. Another person I have named is Mac, my team. We had been talking since he found me through ChatGPT. It's just crazy, right? And this goes back into story. It's a longer video for those that are listening, so you just might as well buckle up. He found me through ChatGPT. He calls me. This is like September, I think, at this time. He calls me, goes to the website, and we chat up for like an hour 15, our first conversation. And I'm not thinking anything. This is mindful. He's not even talking about being hired. He's like, I kind of want to start my own thing. I want to be involved in the lead space. I'm like, all right, I hear that all the time. People always say that. Like, he doesn't really know, but cool. I'll tell him about how it works. So we're talking about our Apex offer. We talk. whatever happened. So we hang up. He buys the leads. I think he makes a sale and doesn't make any more or whatever. And then there were people in his office that were already buying our leads. So I'm like, okay, cool, man. I'll be in Florida in a few weeks because I went on to visit my in-laws. And I'd just love to meet you, bro. Because in my mind, I'm like, all right, now that I've retired, like, you know what I mean? I got to start doing things differently. Like, I don't have to go everywhere and train. I just need, a lifetime around. I can go work out and I can network. I can talk. I can be more involved. I don't have to be so like, oh, I got to go to bed. If I don't get a lot of sleep, like, I'll be all right. I'll figure it out. Literally. He's like, yeah, man, actually, since you're coming, I'm going to set some stuff up for you. You set some stuff up for me. We end up I get down there. It's this huge office, meet all these people, and I'm like kind of taken aback. But I'm also like presenting, showing people stuff, and I'm like, okay, my mind's being expanded to like what's really possible with this business. So fast forward, we end up working together, agency, whole 9 yards. He hits me up around the same time that this Santi situation happens. Hey man, just wanted to let you know, I want to work with you. I was like, what? There's a second person now. Same conversation, relatively the same. Get them set up. So they both start working for me December. December was kind of like people were vacationing, whatever. So it was like a super slow month. They didn't really make that much because there wasn't a lot of motion. January comes. They get their first real experience. Well, in January, there's a thing called the annual convention for Family First Life. It's where I sold at. And they are both a part of Family First Life. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go to convention. They were already planning on going, but I was like, I'm going to be there. So I'm like, yo, let's get the Airbnb. Let's get the flights. Like, I'll whatever. So long story short, we all go down there and I'm running ads and we network and we leave there with a lot of cash, what leads us to February, which allows us to grow, right? Which gets me back to my initial point is that I went down to the FFL convention in 2024, right? So remember 2023, based on this story, when we hit 1 million, started going down. I go back and I'm like, yo, I'm in the league, blah, 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 blah. Like I'm feeling like the man. And I go there and I basically don't close anything. I have these little flyer things. I'm handing them out. I'm not getting any business. And I'm by myself. So I'm like, all right. I was too late to get a booth. I didn't plan. I was like, but I could do something. So we decided to run ads. I go down there with them and we're working as like a team. And my mind was kind of blown because I was like, dude, I was in this same spot 2 years ago. Same exact building, same room, same restroom. Every single thing was the same. The only thing that changed is I had a team. I had a team that allowed me to grow. I had a team where I was talking to a client at one time and I would just be like, yeah, go talk to them. Or I was talking to a client and I'd be like, yeah, just go over there and talk to them. And I saw myself growing through my team. But I also saw something that was huge, which is I really want to see my people win. And I know this was a long story, but I wanted to get to this point. And I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. For those that have been watching, we always appreciate it. Okay. So why does this actually matter? Because I don't even like this. I'm sorry, y'all. This is actually really nasty. Because the right people make doing everything easier, more enjoyable, and selfless. Okay. Makes it easier, right? Because now you have other people that can lift some of that load off of your back. Makes it enjoyable because they should enjoy and love what they're doing if you've hired the right people. And selfless, meaning that you are willing to give more than the next person to make sure that your people are taken care of, even if it affects you a little bit more, even if you make a little bit less money. You make just a little bit less money, but they put more money in their pocket. You structure your plans right. You make sure it's taken care of. You try to give bonuses. You pay for things. You provide value. You give people time off when they actually deserve it and need it. Not just they ask for it, but they actually need it, right? This applies for all business. This applies for the life insurance space. The gentleman I was referring to earlier, he does the same thing with his agents. Yes, the leads are good. Yes, we have the system, but guess what? He cares about his team. Guess what? He's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're going to hit their goals. He's willing to spend the money with myself and my team. He's willing to spend the money to try stuff out. He was willing to bet on me because what I didn't tell you about the story is The first month in, they were crushing. The second month in, things didn't really go well. The third month in, it was like, oh my goodness. The fourth month in, we started to catch momentum. The fifth month in, then we went to the convention, met up, and they went and absolutely smashed it. Right. And now we're going to 6 months, and I guarantee you we're going to be working with each other for a very long time. Not because I'm special, not because I have the best leads in the world, but because number one, I actually care. Number one, I'm trying to make his life easier. I'm trying to make it more enjoyable, and I'm trying to be as selfless as possible. And I tell my people that the reason why nobody's going to outwork me in this space when it comes to making sure that I, number one, get to 1 million plus. Number two, continue to grow. Number three, continue to help people make money, bro. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're able to do these things and be selfless and give more and give higher comp levels, if you're going to say, hey, man, well, my split, people get greedy, man. It's like, look, bro, if you tell somebody, yeah, man, I can't let you go above this, but you can go out and be a dog and build another team. Like I heard one of my homies, I won't drop their name, but they're big in the space. I was talking to him. I was like, yeah, bro, blah, 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 blah. He was like, bro, you're looking at it. I was like, hey, man, you're growing. But what happens when all these legs, they catch up to you? He was like, I gotta go back to work and get another one. I'm like, damn, isn't that tired? He said, no, ain't that the purpose of what we're doing? I said, damn. I said, that makes a lot of sense. So when I thought about that, I was like, you know what? It's if I'm selfless, it'll reap its reward. Why? Because now what? What I'm realizing is the compounding effect, right? I talk about the compounding effect with leads, but let's talk about the compounding effect with business. The compounding effect with business is pretty straightforward, right? It's the fact that as you continue to do good business and provide good products and services, more people will come to you. And as more people come to you, your warm network grows and develops. And then eventually you continue to grow where theoretically, in my mind, and I could be wrong, you don't even got to spend as much on marketing if you got good LTV and you got a good brand recognition in your space. And you like the best businesses in the world don't have to, they can. I mean, I'm gonna say they don't. Let me not say the best business because I don't know. But like paying for marketing, like dude, if you could spend less on marketing and get the same amount of money, even if you make less money but make bigger returns, it's kind of worth it. Like if I didn't have to spend any money on ads and I could make the same amount of money, I'd be like, dude, imagine if you spent $1 million, you made $1 million, and instead of having to spend 100K on ads or 2, 3, 400K on ads, you had to spend nothing. Even if you spent 400, let's say you spent 500K on ads, and you make $1 million, and then you do this and you do that, and then after whatever, you got your numbers. So you're making $1 million a month, but 500K is going towards like ads to generate leads for the business and like grow the business. If you made $700,000 and you didn't have to spend anything on marketing, wouldn't that be better? Or if you only had to spend a fraction of that, wouldn't that be better? And it's like, yeah. So the way I look at it is everything is compounding. Everything allows you to have growth. It's just the fact that like it's not easy. Getting up every day, going to work is not easy, but guess what makes it easy? Finding the right people. Literally, it makes it easy. It does, because now at this point, it's like I just had to find the right people. I hear all the billionaires say when I listen to them, they're all saying the same thing. You got to find the right people. You got to do the very simple things very, very well. You got to respond to people fast, have amazing customer service, right? Across all industries, not just high ticket coaching or the info product space or the digital coaching space. Like, no. Across all business, you can learn from every business. More enjoyable. You create an environment for people who actually enjoy and love what they do. And then selfless, right? You're willing to give and do more for the next person or your employee that somebody else isn't. And that's how I view things, but also what I'm known to work. Because every time I've operated on these things have grown, things have gotten better. They've had their ups and downs, right? But at the end of the day, they've gotten better. And at the end of the day, that's really all you can ask for. And that's all you're really looking for. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. This was just a quick video, right? You got to understand hiring the right people can take you places you've never been. And I said double because it's literal proof. February, we did 220. Last month, we did 430. Or did we do more than that? I think we did yeah, 430. My bad. I think we did like two. Yeah. We did like 220 in January because we didn't do anything crazy in January. We didn't go like 260 or anything like that. In February, we did 430. And I'm gonna say his name. The gentleman He came in and was doing like 3 to 400K, and now he's doing 6. Right, so you almost double. You see, he did 650. I'm sure he'll do 700 plus, and then we'll have him at 1 million by the summertime. And by summer, I mean May or June. Right. So and we've obviously done that for multiple people, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I am also learning it too. Because if I could have came on here and be like, yeah, it's a testimonial, you guys have been like, okay, cool. But I want to talk about how that's happening for him, but also for me. And it all ties together because it's all about the right people. It's always about the people. That's the other thing I hear. It's always about the people. I'm seeing it clear as day now. It's all about the people. Doesn't matter what I think. It's about the people. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. If you want leads, go to leadlabcrm.com. If you're looking for like an in-house system, go to agentleadlab.com. You can book a call directly with us so we can go through everything, see if you qualify. We'd love to hop on a call, kind of break things down. Those packages range anywhere between 5 and 10K a month on a retainer, but it is a progressive thing. So you do have to start with working our leads and working your way up through our partnership model. It is not just coming and buy. We've completely discontinued that. We've seen much more success with people walking through our steps, but also being able to date us before marrying us. Because to me, you're hiring us. This is not, hey, we're going to try this retainer thing out. I'm not doing that anymore. We've already put too much time and effort. We were way too experienced. You know that it works. It's like, we need to figure out, do you want to hire us? It's like, you're going to go out and hire a sniper to do a sniper job. You don't like a month in because it doesn't seem the way you thought it was supposed to seem. Get rid of him when he told you that he was going to have the results in 6 to 8 months or whatever the timeline is. And that's our job. We're going to be like, hey, look, we're going to get you these results in this amount of time, right? X, Y, Z. So that is what we focus on, genuinely, right? And if you're going to book a call, get on a call for that. Otherwise, just go to the website and buy the leads. It's leadlabcrm.com. Leadlabcrm.com. It is not agentleadlab.com. There are 2 different websites. They serve 2 different purposes, right? So as always, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.